You know, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow will be 3 weeks ago when I came on the air after the attacks on Jeff Sessions. The insinuations about him in particular, but others collaborating with Russia, I'd had enough of it. I'd seen no evidence whatsoever in any of the reporting that the Russians affected the outcome of the election, even though I condemned Putin and the Russians for trying to, month after month after month. But this insinuation and this suggestion in the media that this was a fact, and moreover, putting together the articles, not as a conspiracy, but to lay out what the media were saying, the leaks, the police state tactics. And by that I mean the collection of intelligence information by whatever means and then leaking it selectively, cherry-picking it, for the purpose of continuing this mantra, feeding right into the Democrat Party and their demands for special prosecutors, independent commissions, and so forth. Based on what? Based on nothing. And the selective leaking clearly was partisan and political. And that's exactly what I mean by police state tactics, using intelligence information and law enforcement information to try and destroy an incoming administration or destroy a campaign. Well, the media would have none of that. There was even an article today, which I'll get to later, in the Los Angeles Slimes, focused on me, that I started the conspiracy, the right-wing conspiracy and the right-wing news outlets and so forth that led to Trump with his tweet, and here we have it, and then quoting professionals, professors on what all this means, and so just a complete hack setup job. The media do not want to get to the bottom of this, because to get to the bottom of this exposes the media. And we had an absolute bombshell today by Devin Nunes, the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, who, as I speak, is now under attack by the Democrats and some in the media. And he said, well, I'll let you hear some of what he said today. Cut one, Mr. Producer, go.
So first, I recently confirmed that on numerous occasions the intelligence community incidentally collected information about U.S. citizens involved in the Trump transition. Details about U.S. persons associated with the incoming administration, details with little or no apparent foreign intelligence value, were widely disseminated in intelligence community reporting. Third, I have confirmed that additional names of Trump transition team members were unmasked. And fourth and finally, I want to be clear, none of this surveillance was related to Russia or the investigation of Russian activities or of the Trump team.
So, what is stunning about this is in addition to the ongoing counterintelligence investigation announced, confirmed by James Comey on Monday, that has been taking place since July and is taking place right now. So this information having nothing to do with Russia, he says, nothing to do with Russia, is information collected, quote-unquote, incidentally, in addition to the FBI investigation that's going on with respect to Trump world and Russia, the basis of which is still unknown, which Mr. Comey kept from Congress, did not keep it from Department of Justice officials, and may well have shared with the White House. We don't know, because that question was never asked of him during the course of Monday's hearing. So incidental collection of data, meaning they were eavesdropping on foreigners. I assume they had a FISA court warrant, whatever they had. So legal, but the unmasking of the names of American citizens who have not been committing crimes, we're not in the course of committing crimes, we're not conspiring to commit crimes, we're not involved in the revelation of information that would harm our national security, to foreign entities were not foreign agents. Their names were, quote-unquote, unmasked. That is, revealed. Revealed. In scores of reports that were brought to him by a source that he read, the chairman of the Intelligence Committee. Cut 2, Mr. Producer, go.
This appears to be all legally collected foreign intelligence under FISA, where there was incidental collection that then ended up in reporting channels and that was widely disseminated.
So pursuant to FISA. Pursuant to FISA. Cut 3, go.
Given that you have said there was a FISA warrant which would have been approved by a judge, are you concerned that essentially you're saying members of the Trump team were in contact with people who were the target of a counterintelligence?
See, this is the media. The media. Media doesn't care, ladies and gentlemen, about a soft despotism, about the tactics, about the misuse of intelligence information, anything of the sort. They just want Trump's scalp. That's it. That's it. And his answer is go.
No, I think you'd be no. This would be. I think you're reading too much into that. What this is normal intelligence reporting. It's just normal intelligence reporting. The question is should he himself or others should they have been put into these reports? And I don't know the answer to that yet, but we're going to try to get to the bottom of it.
Should he, meaning Trump, should he himself or others, should they have been put into these reports? You understand this is post-election? He's talking about reports that are post-election. He's the president-elect at this point. Cut 4, go.
Can you rule out the possibility that senior Obama administration officials were involved in this?
No, we cannot.
Stop. Can you rule out the possibility that senior Obama administration officials were involved in this? No, I cannot. And why is the reporter interested in him doing that? On what basis could he even possibly do that? We've not yet heard a question, ladies and gentlemen. We've not yet heard a question that really would take this into the White House staff. Gowdy came the closest. He started listing names. The FBI, I can't mention that, I can't mention that, I can't mention that. But he could mention, and he must mention, with whom information has been shared. Now keep in mind, we're talking about two different things here. The investigation related to Russia, and this, which the chairman says Russia's never even mentioned. So I have a question for you folks. If Russia is never even mentioned, and it's not an investigation of the kind the FBI director announced at the beginning of the hearing on Monday. So this is basic intelligence gathering on foreign officials, where they're picking up information, some of the Trump people, perhaps, the president, perhaps, maybe in the course of his organizing his administration after the elections, talking to some foreign leader, whatever it is. Why would they unmask those names? In other words, if it's not in the course of an affirmative investigation of Trump world and Russia, but it's incidentally picked up, why wouldn't they have purged the names of those American citizens like they're supposed to, rather than unmask them and spread them around the government? That's a serious question. That's a serious issue. Cut 5, go.
If President Obama ordered any kind of surveillance of the president,
they can't help themselves. This is their focus, and this is what they want it to be, just like liberal Democrats. They want it to be the tweet. They want it to be Trump's tweet. We have a bombshell revelation by the chairman of the Intelligence Committee in the House. And like Tourette's, they can't help it. Let's move on to cut 6. Go.
Your issue is the unmasked masking, not that there was this monitoring.
Well, there's two issues here, okay? There's additional unmasking of names, which I think is totally inappropriate. But we have to get to I don't know how many names were unmasked, but I know there were additional unmaskings that occurred. And then you have the issue of the names that were put into these intelligence reports that we have to get to the bottom of, and this is why we sent the letter 2 weeks ago. We need a response to it.
Letter to the FBI says the NSA is being cooperative. So far, the FBI not so much. That would be Comey. So the question is begged, why would the names of innocent citizens not under investigation, caught incidentally in these eavesdropping operations on foreign officials or what have you, why would their names be, number one, revealed, unmasked, and number two, added to apparently scores of reports that are then circulated around the government? Can you rule out the possibility that senior Obama administration officials were involved in this, Nunes? No, I cannot. And the media will not care. The media know how to reach these senior officials. They have their cell phones. They have their email addresses. They have their home addresses. They will not touch the Obama administration. Now, you and I, here on this little radio show, we have succeeded, number one, in drawing attention to this. Not this particular bombshell, but this issue of intelligence gathering, law enforcement investigating, of an incoming, first of all, during the course of a general election, the opposition party of the president's, and then the incoming administration. And we've drawn attention, not by first-hand reporting, but by repeating the reports of the media and putting them in order and suggesting there's an issue here. Then we called for these committees to hold public hearings. The House has held a public hearing, and hopefully the Senate will hold a public hearing. Now, in the course of these hearings, obviously somebody who's a patriot contacted the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee after the hearing and said, I have something you better look at. I have something you better look at. Now, while the director of the NSA and the director of the FBI were testifying, they knew of this information in these reports. They knew of the incidental collection of data. Legal, but, as the chairman says, he feels it's inappropriate. They knew of the unmasking of the names of American citizens. But they held their cards close to their chest. They didn't reveal any of that, did they, ladies and gentlemen? Not a word.